Thanks for having me. And today I'm going to show you Pilot Plus, as you said, a structured approach to turn transformation in the battery sector from pilots into scalable operations. And in order to explain what that really means, I will first outline the underlying issues in the battery sector, then show you the solution Pilot Plus, because it didn't start as a framework, but emerged from VUCA real-world challenges, and finally show you how this translates into real-life use cases. So this is certainly nothing new to anyone here, the reality of battery transformations today. Technologies shift faster than strategies can adapt, regulations are fragmented across borders, supply chains operate under conflicting governance systems, data standards compete against each other instead of converging. So we have 5 moving targets at once, making batteries one of the most VUCA-shaped sectors today. And conventional project approaches systematically fail in this environment. Whether there are isolated pilots or big bang rollouts, they cannot orchestrate this complexity. And many brilliant startups like you today pitching your innovative solutions here in software and hardware might have recognized that between the first adoption and industry-wide adoption, there are big gaps remaining. Gaps nobody is solving systematically at the moment. So what is missing? What's the alternative? And of course, it is Pilot Plus. It was designed exactly to close these gaps. It wasn't, as I told you before, built top-down in a workshop. It emerged bottom-up from years of transformation failures in automotive, supply chain, and batteries. And from a bird eye's perspective, I always saw the same pattern repeats. Pilots succeed maybe tactically, but fail strategically because they're not aligned with scaling. And the recognition here was there's a common core problem, so we created a common core solution. And this is a stable structure, which is the same across all phases, from pilot to full rollout. And we all always say it doesn't matter which framework you prefer, it's always the same questions we are asking. And the key here is in first pilots, you need only to answer these pragmatically, and in later stages in different depths. We call this the maturity to target bridge. In a nutshell, this means we have one constant frame and no constant reinvention, which saves a lot of time and money in the process. And who coordinates all this? Of course, again, Pilot Plus, because the framework is made to reduce complexity first, and then orchestration becomes possible too. And this means customers, everyone within the project gets tangible next steps, doable, and consultants and tech enablers can focus on priorities, adapting to the customer's specific needs, and have time to enable the team on the way. And why is it so important to grow internal maturity alongside? Simply spoken, customer support is needed from beginning to build pilot readiness, let alone rollout capabilities. And tech partners alone cannot deliver that. And in addition, a transformation, as we all know, isn't a one-time project. It's an ongoing initiative. So constant external dependencies isn't sustainable, simply too expensive. That's why we built in change enablement, trainings in each phase so you can build your internal capability to your own scaling. And why we are asking ourselves all the time for you, what's the sufficient next steps? You are probably asking me right now, okay, gaps closed, but one thing is missing. How does this actually become a product I can buy? And this is why we have created ready-to-buy transformation packages together with tech enablers that include our modular, mature-as-you-go approach. For example, battery passport, Catena-X, fleet and charging, just to name a few. And each package appears standard on the surface because the duration of the phases are the same, and each package follows the same operating system I showed you before: analyze, implement, optimize, and scale into resilient operations. But where it gets different is that we might sell a finished product, but it remains fully modular inside. We run a short workshop with you to get to know your specific maturity and constraints, then we swap the use case models precisely in scope and out of scope for now. And the course framework stays identical across all configurations, but the building blocks adapt to where you actually are. And this means you don't have to coordinate the tech partners. We are doing that for you. And most of all, you are not forced into a one-size-fits-all offer that ignores your company's readiness level. We make 100 small decisions to make this possible, so you don't need a 50-year strategy up front. We build a strategy with you that's deliberately designed to scale later. In summary, we recognized same transformation challenges, same constants over the process, but different industry missions. And I'm sure the chaos will always stay the same. And this is why we built Pilot Plus, to orchestrate what others can't. And we are addressing gaps here. The industry is finally waking up too. And this is why the big momentum is coming so much from the battery sector right now. And I'm so grateful to be here and to announce that pricing and first packages will roll out in the second half of this year. So if you're an investor looking for the battery space, this is an operating system scaling into a growing market. If you are a consulting house or tech enabler, let's talk about co-creating a package that combines your solution with our orchestration. Or if you, of course, are a customer and you want to stop the pilot chaos and start mindful transformations, we are ready when you are. So please feel free to scan the code, have a look on our website. I'm happy to talk, and because there is so much more to Pilot Plus than just a 4-minute pitch, I want you to attend the follow-up webinar I'm hosting on the 14th of April to show you a deep dive into Pilot Plus and the first packages. Thank you so much for listening.
All right. Thank you for the overview. And yes, 4 minutes go over really quickly, and we are a little bit over time. But if there's that's okay. If there's a question from the audience, just please raise your hand and unmute your microphone, and you can ask Friederike directly. Otherwise, you already mentioned that if there are questions emerging later, they can always attend your seminar and get the question asked done.
I will send you all the links in the chat to the webinar and my contact data and everything.
Perfect. Then allow me a really quick question about what sizes of the scale up you would be like the perfect match for you. Are you like helping with really small scale ups, or is there a limit where you say no, that's too big? We can't really help there because it gets too complex.
Oh, very good question. Because in our Pilot Plus strategy, there is scaling up is planned until 2 years. So we plan like a small as SME is our focus target group. So we are looking for smaller scales, but at the moment we are talking to big consultancy companies and big companies for platform and cybersecurity topics in order to be able to make it possible to scale up to a really big scale, like not only one site, but whole company wise, or so that you are able not only to scale for one process and then one site and then the whole company. We make this possible. So it's the scale is growing right now, but it's a 1 or 2 year target. We say first pilot when example Catena-X, 8 to 12 weeks for the pilot, second scaling phase 6 to 12 months, and then another 1 to 2 years in order to be a resilient operation. And we are trying to make it possible for even bigger transformations in the future because we know it's needed.
All right.